everybody. We got 60 seconds on the clock and the TPP Podcast, actually less than 40 seconds. And tonight we have a very special guest, Mr. Alex J. Eric, as some of you may know him. So we're getting ready to initiate the call. And I think that tonight's going to be a pretty fun night. I think you guys are going to like what we have in store for you. So, we got 15 seconds, so thank you. I'm going to actually initiate the call now. We got 10 seconds here on our final countdown. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the TPP Podcast. And it sounds like somebody doesn't have their headset plugged in.
Uh-oh.
Or their headphones. And just in case you're wondering, while we wait for everybody to get all positioned and all that good stuff, the match you're going to see, it's going to be Edge versus Dolph Ziggler, 60-man Iron Man match. So go and tweet this out to all your friends. You get to watch the computer try to not sim with each other, which we all know how great that always works on the stream. But give me I just got to refresh it real quick. Okay, there we go. Now it'll go back to normal speed. So, I guess without further ado, we're going to bust into the intros. I know Scott Barnett had requested that Alex J. Eric doesn't give his intro until he gets back. So in the meantime, before that, just to remind everybody of who everybody is on the podcast, I'm Die Hard, the guy that runs the power plant. We're joined by Fifth Animal and Afro Gentleman. So if you guys want to give a little intro on yourselves, go ahead.
What, Afro?
Oh, put me on the spot. All right, I am Afro Gentleman. That's with a capital I, not a nail. I am one of the co-founders of Power Wrestling. Hola. Put me on the spot. All right, I am Afro Gentleman. Wow, that's with a capital I, not a nail. How would that sound like? Anyway, co-founders of Power Wrestling. Hola. Put me on the spot. Animals. I am Afro Gentleman. Wow, that's with a capital I, not a nail. How would that sound like? Anyway, co-founders of Power Wrestling. Hola. Animals. I am.
Looks like we're having some technical difficulties here. All right, and then Afro, you can continue.
Yes, of course. What was I saying? Oh, yes, I'm Afro Gentleman. And I'm one of the co-founders of Power Wrestling. We are in the business of selling dreams and lollipops and all that good stuff. And we like to sell a lot of things, moves, good shows, entertainment, that sort of jazz. Turn it over to my partner, Mr. Fifth Animal.
Still there?
Yep, we can still hear you. We can hear you just fine now.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, I'm the Fifth Animal. Me and Afro are partners for Power Wrestling. We've been running since the beginning of 2013. Just to let you all know that we didn't intend it to be an actual league for people to actually partake in. It was more so a setup for both me and him to get our ideas out there and basically create all of our stories and our creative flow. We get all our creative juices out there and bring it to life. And basically, more and more people caught on to what we were doing and wanted to join into the fun. So overall, it turned into an online career mode, basically, for people. And it's basically everybody getting the opportunity to bring their creations, whether it be a character, music, stories, anything. We try and incorporate anything and everything into our shows to help people bring their creations to life. And we enjoy it all in all aspects. It's very fun, exciting. It definitely can get very what's the word I'm looking for? Surprising. That's the word I'm looking for. It can get very surprising because we don't really plan too far ahead when we do our shows, but the farthest we go is basically the matches. So on a per week basis, you never know what you're going to get from which character. You never know what's going to happen with the stories, but we do progress the stories as everybody else progress. So it's a learning experience for both the staff members and the members themselves. It's really fun, really cool.
All right, and then so we're gonna do a test here. Do we have? Okay, so Alex J. Eric, you wanna try to see if you got your mic working now, or?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, yep, we can hear you.
Yay! Cool. Hello. That was
Awesome.
scary for a second then. Oh, I've never done this before, have I? How you guys doing?
Decent.
So,
Good. Shall I do my little introduction now?
Yep, go ahead. I'm
Cool.
assuming Blaze is back now. It usually doesn't take that long
Is he?
to smoke a fag. I mean,
Oh, God. I hope he is back so he can hear me speak. Well, anyway, hello everyone. I'm Alex Jarek. I am, I guess, the founder of Kapow and also a member of PWR. I like long walks on the beach and I pretend to have a beard in a video game because I can't grow facial hair in real life. So that's me.
that's a real man right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Admitting that he can't grow a beard in real life. That right there, the next CM Punk.
I'd love that.
Is that all you want to do for your intro, or do you want to add anything else?
I
or-
can't think of anything else to say.
Okay, all right, that's perfectly fine. All right, so we're gonna that just set the level for this podcast tonight. We have to top being that open about not growing facial hair. So 2K14 is right around the corner. Literally, like, I think it's 2 weeks or 2.5 weeks, something like that. 3 weeks. Okay, like 3 weeks away. So like 20 days. Your thoughts as 13 comes to an end. You know, you can, even if you want to talk about how 2K decided to shut down the servers for, you know, WWE 12.
yeah.
You know, things like that. I mean, what are your thoughts going in, not your plans into 14, but going into it? So everything that has led up to 2K14, you know, like even the live streams that they've been doing, inclusion of story designer was a nice way to, a nice confirmation for me when I saw it on the stream. I was very happy when I saw that. So
I'm really glad it's in.
Oh, yes.
That's a plus, isn't it?
Very big.
yes, that is a big plus.
But no, I wish they would have shown off some of the creative superstar thing, like footage, really, because that's still kind of a blur as to whether it's any good now. You know, like what they've actually updated.
yeah.
And what else? I'm glad that they're showing off moves next week because I'm looking forward to seeing what they've got in. You know, so you can start thinking about what you're going to change all your combos to and whatnot.
Yeah, exactly. Give people an idea of what they're going to do.
Yeah, and I'm going to try and get that blackout or the running curb stomp, whatever it is that Tyler Black does in my moveset. I can't wait to see that.
All right, and then so it looks like Afro is supposed to go.
Awesome.
Yep,
Awesome.
to go first. So what do you think heading into 14 here?
If you don't know by now, I am very big on creation and the creation suite, so I was tuned in very much so on the live stream this week. A couple of things. Me personally, I like to see what I can do as far as the arenas are concerned. I think as a league GM or just in any league, you're kind of, your arena is kind of like your personality in a way. I mean, it kind of sets the tone for your matches. You know, the atmosphere. So it's nice to see that they added a few extra venues and stages. Well, we haven't really seen the stages yet, but apparently they're saying there's added stages, and we'll see. You know, as stuff becomes more revealed. I guess it's nice to see the belt. The belt creator is a little more detailed. That's a plus, especially for leagues. You know, no more no more paint tool belts, right? All in all, it's a step forward. You know, I'm still skeptical. as time progresses, we'll see if the improvements are really worth the wait.
All right, and then so fifth animal. We know that you're the cynic here of of WWE. So thoughts?
Well, for those of you who know me, yeah, I have my reasons for having I guess I could say a dislike, and that's being positive. I have a dislike towards recent WWE games. I'm a big fan of the SVR series when it went from basically, I guess as early as 2005 all the way to 2008. Two button reversals, awesome. GM mode, awesome. They added a lot of simulation and realism to the game itself, opposed to making it arcade style. But feeding off of my partner Afro, and I'm going to try to be as positive and not negative. But
Keyword try.
feeding off of Afro, I guess I'll say I like to play towards my strengths, which is being creative, and I'm very strong when it comes to writing. So as far as the sceneries go, when it comes to story design and the scenes, I have not yet seen or heard anything about that area of the game going into 2K14.
Yeah.
But I do know playing 13 and 12, I I felt very limited, and I would have to use my basically design skills when it comes to editing to basically create my visions, and everybody else's visions come to life. It is very hard to make certain things happen when they don't do expected scenes or expected things that should be in the game. For example, you have a scene where someone gets attacked with a pipe, yet there's no pipe as a weapon for choice in the game. It doesn't. It's very.
Point.
Yeah, it's like stuff like that. People like us do notice. Creative people that don't hop on a game and press two buttons for a win. Yay, I won! We don't do that. No. We expect a form of realism to the game. But on a positive note, I can say moving forward with 2K producing the game, I guess I could say I look forward to the gameplay getting better and better, because one thing 2K does very well is creating simulation sports games. And that goes for NBA 2K, MLB 2K. It actually does come out well. But I do notice that they always wind up lacking in the creative aspect of those games too. And I'm hoping that doesn't happen with WWE, because people like us, we're very creative. We like to create designs, paint tools, create characters, stories. People spend hours upon hours on this stuff. And when it comes to me, I can spend hours, as you can see. If those of you who not seen the channel, youtube.com/adminanimal, we have 34 weeks worth of shows and pay-per-views consistently, and that's because we're basically addicted to our own passion. We love to write and create. We drive ourselves, and this is what we do, and we would like for the game to provide us with the tools to do so. So I guess I could say that moving forward, I think the game should be better when it comes to helping us create our visions. But I'm not going to be too happy about it. I'm not going to, put my hopes up high, because things happen, things get left out. You never know what's going to happen until you get the final product. A lot of people, they talk about the game and they talk about what's going to happen and what's been exposed already. But me personally, I don't get too excited until the game actually releases,
Yeah.
And, just to add a little bit more, I personally would not have got WWE 13 and would not have been playing this game if it wasn't for my cousins. They were the ones who told me, give it a chance, get the game. It's supposed to be hot. I had the equipment, and we were all supposed to do our own show. They bailed on me, but catching up with Afro, me and him, we had basically the same idea of what we wanted to do. So basically, he replaced my cousins, and we wound up doing what I originally planned to do. But as far as the game go, it's still the league itself that helps me, and I'm sure it helps Afro move forward along with the game as well.
Oh yeah. And then, I guess I already kind of gave my stuff away, for 14. But I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I think collectively throughout this year, there's been lots of ups and downs for everybody. But I hopefully moving forward, I mean, THQ went bankrupt at the beginning of this year, so technically the end of last year. But hopefully, going forward, like you were saying, 2K, they're really good at gameplay. They're good at gameplay, and usually the graphics are pretty good as well. So hopefully that makes a really good I mean, we know that 14 is going to look identical to 13, but hopefully, future incarnations of the game will have, I mean,
We can only
I
hope.
guess, right. I'm hoping that the graphics will just get, better than what they are. Make it look a little bit
Progressive.
more progressive, more pretty. But I mean, the game still looks good. I mean, people do magical things with Paint Tool, and I mean, literally they take just an idea on a 128, or else 256, pixel, and they make it look great. So I mean, it can be done even on the current hardware that we're running.
Yeah.
So hopefully next gen it'll be nice and pretty. And so now we go from the beauty of talking about ups and downs of 2K14 into the nitty gritty of the podcast. Because we want to do one subject that's nice and friendly, and then we have to kind of get into one of those subjects that's kind of
might hurt some feelings.
Well, I'm not going to try to hurt anybody's feelings with this. So what we're going to do, these are the rules for this topic. We're not going to name names. We're just going to give opinions.
Indeed.
And I'll go first on this one because I made this cool little still image for everybody that I've been waiting to show. I made this last week. So the topic is, or this part of our podcast is about leagues constantly shutting down. Now, if you will direct your attention at the stream, you see this very beautiful image I made.
Oh, wow.
And I like it because I use the Transformer text, and I'm a big Transformer kind of guy. So some of the adverse effects, it does show a lack of commitment. I mean, let's just face it. If you start up a show and it lasts for 2 or 3 weeks, and then you die off, and then you try to come back, you show a lack of commitment, or you show that you just don't have the, I don't want to say the testicular fortitude. You just don't have the gut. You just don't have the gut to, do it. You don't have the gut to stomach and power through, everything that's possibly going on, or whether it's egos or whatever. You just don't have what it takes. And so when it constantly shuts down and you're just trying to rekindle it after like 2 episodes, it kind of has an adverse effect. And that kind of almost connects with me on a personal level because, for a couple of years there, the power plant was kind of on and off like every 6 months or so, or every 4 months, every 4 to 6 months. So that kind of hits home right there. It did show a lack of commitment on my part, but I think I'm kind of making up for that. And, I mean, we've been going strong now for like 8 months or something like that. So, and no issues that we haven't been able to take care of. And then possibly it ruins your reputation. And again, I can speak personally on behalf of this as, that possibly ruined my reputation or lack thereof, whatever I had. Some of the positive effects, though, that it does have for those that are running leagues that may shut down constantly, it alleviates them from the drama from the community, which today, if you've been on Twitter at all today, you saw that there was lots of stuff going on in the community, which it's been like that for the past few days. Other leagues have been saying things to other leagues. People have been saying things to other people. It's been roughshod the past, I don't know, like a month and a half. Ever since I started using Ask FM, it just totally blew up. And,
oh, man.
So I guess one of the positive sides, if you just shut down your league and disappear, you can get away from all that. You just change your gamer tag, change your PSN ID, you can just get away from
liquidation of the assets.
Exactly. Liquidate all your assets. Be done with it. Another positive effect, and this was something that I thought was a positive effect, but it's kind of like I guess it's a neutral one. But it allows you to play other video games, like if you play other games. Well, on my other channel, I was doing a lot of Call of Duty stuff. Well, Call of Duty got boring really, really quickly, and it just sounded like you just farted right in your mic, Mr. Alex J. Eric.
Really?
I think Alex J. Eric be blowing chunks in his microphone.
I think I was just wiping my hand over, actually. I think that's what I was doing. Yeah.
Oh, man.
I just saw some dirt on my MacBook. Oh. Tried to clean it.
So I mean, it does allow you time to play other video games, but if you're really into it, you always find a way to come back. You always find a way to tie yourself back into it, and so that's what I got my 4 little reasons with their explanation. And so we're going to start according to my screen, left to right. So Animal, you are first, and then Alex J. Eric, and then Afro, you will be last. So Animal, what are your thoughts on leagues constantly shutting down? Remember, we're not naming names, and we're not pointing fingers, just giving opinion on the general situation, like effects that it could have on you personally or, socially with people within the community.
Gotcha. I'll behave.
Try.
First off, I want everybody to listen well when I say this. If you're having problems in your league as a member or staff, or you feel like things are going downhill, you need to find motivation, whether it be internal or external. And I guarantee you, if you're having internal problems finding motivation and you need help finding an external source, meaning something that's not from you, from other people or other things, you need to watch Die Hard's videos. You need to pay attention to TPP and TPP 2K because I'm speaking from experience, they help a lot. Die Hard gives a lot of useful information, and I may sound like a fanboy because I respect Die Hard a lot, but the videos that he do post on YouTube, they're very useful when it comes to creating shows and keeping a league up. And from the first time I joined Die Hard's podcast, I touched on the same subject on how to make sure your league doesn't fall. And it goes back to having motivation and being able to be a strong leader because people are going to follow you. I'm not going to disrespect everybody and say that members are kids, but from a business standpoint of view, you have to look at them like they're your kids. They're going to feed off of you and follow from you. So if you have the right head on your shoulders and you can lead a pack, then they're all going to feed off from you and grow. And that's what me and Afro try to do. No matter how much we go through, I'm telling you, we deal with several personalities, genders, everything. A myriad. And it has not been a full year. We run our shows and years go by half a year. So 6 months to us is a year in the league. But we haven't been alive throughout a real year, and we've dealt with so much when it comes to personality and people, but yet it takes a strong leader to lead the pack, and that's what it's about. And Die Hard, he does a good job giving you information, whether it's audio, whether it's being a leader, and even if you looked at the video, if you looked at the screen while he explained how to not have your league drop, or if it looks like it's not going to be consistent. There's benefits and then there's disadvantages. And I want to add on to what he said about being able to play more games. When you have the motivation like we do, like I said, we love creating. We do this all the time because this is what we like to do. When you have the motivation, you still find time to play the game and do what you got to do. We produce 2 shows every week. Most leagues produce 1 show per week. Me and Afro produce 2 shows per week, and then we have pay-per-views. And around pay-per-view time is very hectic because we have our developmental show, the pay-per-view show, plus our weekly shows. It's very hectic, but we still get that stuff done and have time for other games and other stuff in our life. And it just becomes a part of our natural habitat because we like doing it. And when I say watch Die Hard's videos and learn from it, that goes to other leagues too. If you see other leagues out there that's doing similar things to what Die Hard, or you see that they just have everything together, you want to look at them and learn from them. And a lot of times I'll go to different leagues and they may take it as I'm trying to steal members or I'm trying to get away with something from them. And I always explain to them that's not the case. I'm just going from league to league, trying to learn different things because we're all in the same boat. We're all trying to do the same thing, which is create a fun environment for people to join and an entertaining show for people to watch. And the more you learn from each other, the better your show and you as a person become when it comes to creating these characters and shows. And also, one thing you have to keep in mind is to have an open mind because people with closed minds is going to start drama. And they always bring drama around them. If you have a closed mind, you want things your way or the highway, it's never going to work out. You're always going to have that one person who says, get out my face. I don't want nothing to do with you. And I pause for a second because I'm trying to be nice. But, you have to understand you will meet those people who's just headstrong on themselves. They're selfish, they get jealous easily, stuff like that, and they'll try and sabotage your league, or they'll try and sabotage your members, because all they care about is themselves, and they would do anything to push themselves. And that reminds me too that I was talking to Die Hard one time, and he mentioned basically on his application how it says, do you prefer self-improvement or show improvement? And he said a lot of people would choose self-improvement. And that those are the type of people that enter the league and they don't care overall about the show. They care about themselves. So the moment that, like a child, the moment that they don't get what they want, they're going to act up and have a fit, and they're ready to go to another league. But what they don't understand is every league has to have a form of leader that's strong for the whole pack. And then these leagues fall down because you think they're going to give you what you want, but that's not the answer to the show as a whole. So while you're going over there because your selfish needs require you to get title shots, require you to be in every match, your selfish needs is not going to help the show as an overall. Self-improvement is not going to help the show as a whole. And one thing everybody needs to understand is that if the show fails, you fail, and then you start right back where you started from before, which is looking for a league to call home. So you pick a spot that's consistent. You pick a league that's doing all the right things and trying to grow instead of being content with the same crappy stuff that they've been doing. Not saying people have crappy material, but if you're not looking to grow, you're not looking to better yourself, you're not going to better the people you're surrounded by, because everybody feeds off of each other. So my whole opinion overall on the leagues that keep dying consistently, you need to pick a path, and if you really want to do it, learn from other people. Everybody have their strong points. You can feed off other people and learn from them. You can better yourself by being around people who do similar things. You need to pick a path, and if this is what you want to do, then you stick with it. You wake up every morning and you say, this is my day and this is my league day. This is what I got to do. I'm going to do it because I love doing it. Don't sit there and half-ass it and then sit there and complain about it and then tell people you're done, because everybody else going to look at you and be like, well, I just tried all this for nothing. I mean, hypothetically speaking, like, shit, I left TPP and this is what happens. I left Power Wrestling and this is what happens. I should have stayed over there. I would have been a jobber for a few weeks, but at least I would have finally got somewhere. Stuff like that happens, So just keep that in mind.
Okay, and then not to cut you off, or we'll get to you in just 1 second. Is it just me, or is the camera angle really weird on the stream right now?
I've had that before. In a match.
Like,
and
am I seeing this the right way? Like, am I seeing this angled angle?
I see the same. Yeah, 2K14, pay attention.
If you do stuff on the outside, sometimes the camera angle will change it. It won't change back.
I guess
I had that in a match before.
That looks horrible.
When you're playing it like that, it's really bad.
It's been a good run
for
2K.
Next camera cut, it should change.
All right, so Alex J. Eric, your thoughts, your opinions on leagues that start up and then ultimately meet their demise relatively quick.
It's a bit of a sore subject because I've just started a league and I'm struggling to get the first show done, so this is fun for me. But yeah, I recently, a couple of days ago, I was involved in a league that shut down, and it's because of, I'm not going to say names and stuff, but I find one reason is because people want to do shows on a regular basis, and then they realise once they actually try and get it started, they don't actually have the time, like if they're at school or they have like other arrangements and other priorities that they must like put above it, and they get everybody's hopes up and it ends up not working. That's sort of an issue I find. Like my league, Kapow, I'm hoping to do it like monthly, because I know that a weekly thing isn't going to work for me, and hopefully that's actually going to keep me from like not shutting down early. But this is something that I'm worried about. Like I don't want to start a league and then have it shut down really quickly, because I don't want to have a bad name come out like, oh, Alex isn't a guy who can keep a league going. I want to try and make something that can last throughout the whole year, and even if I only do 12 shows, at least it'll be 12 shows that wouldn't have been there if it wasn't for me. I think one big sort of advantage I have is that I don't have a Skype chat for Kapow, so that means that people can't argue, which is nice. Because that seems
That
to
is
be
a good way to say it too. You know, that's a
Yeah.
good way to say it.
Yeah.
Don't have a Skype chat. It'll help you succeed.
Just shamble down. You'll be all right. But yeah, it's just it's one of the things that happens, isn't it? People talk all the time, like they'll just get into little arguments and people fall out and they'll just leave. You know, you don't want that. So I just thought, you know what? There's too many Skype chats going around. I won't start one, and I'll just sort of message people on the various ones that I'm involved in now. But
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
And like Blaze is saying here in the chat box, just keep advertising it. Just for 2 years, just keep coming soon, coming later, coming
Maybe-
very soon. Just things
Maybe-
like that.
maybe I can
just-
release the first show in 2K16 or something.
Exactly, Blake. We're just trying to get everything set up, trying to get it all in place. We'll be ready to go in 2K16, though, guys. Best show ever.
Every year I'll get a match recorded, I guess. That might be a good way to do it. But, like-
Exactly. And then, did you want to add anything else, or?
I was just gonna a question from me to you guys is how do you keep it going?
Well,
Just for someone who's hoping to
well,
start something.
I'll answer first because
Go on.
a lot of people may think that I'm joking, but I tell people I'm a professional lame. Like I have no life when we're talking about the social norms. I don't go out too much. I don't go to parties. I don't drink, and I don't spend my money on unnecessary things. So I have a lot of time to do what I want when I want, and I'm happy doing what I want whenever I want. So that's why I have so much time to basically do the shows weekly. And because I go to school for graphic designing and multimedia, it all plays its part. I take power wrestling as a form of my portfolio, actually, because I basically do everything in school that I have to do with power wrestling, which is design, arts, creative writing, etc. But because I don't spend too much of my time doing other stuff that I don't feel like I need to do or don't want to do, I have enough time to do stuff that I actually want to do whenever I want to do it. So for me personally, that's why I'm able to be so consistent with it.
Thank you.
I would say persistence. Like, you have to be. You gotta be persistent because. After a while, everything just starts catching up to you. And, like I talked about this before, but I've fallen asleep at my desk before, like trying to edit and stuff. So, I mean, it's just, it starts adding up. But, if you can regulate the way that you do things, or I don't want to say regulate, but if you can get a good flow of how you do things, you should be okay. As long as you're working with people that, are willing to be cooperative, and get done what needs to be done when it needs to get done, not 4 days later than what it was supposed to be done. Things like that, just little things. The little things add up to big things, and the big things, that's what usually causes leagues to, it'll start as a little small misunderstanding or argument, and then it blows up into something way blown out of proportion, and it just becomes completely crazy,
Right.
What I
Always
found
goes that
out,
way.
what I found out, the two major things for me that helps me going with this is one, you have to, and I really mean this, you have to believe in what you're doing. You have to really believe that what you're doing is what you love to do, and you can't let people sway why you came into this. You have to remember, why you believe. You have to remember why you started doing this in the first place. It's something that you love to do. It's something that you want to continue doing. Like we said this before, Animal and I, we started out with no members, and we can continue doing it because it's something that we love to do. We love to write and create, and it's just, you want to enjoy what you do. You want people to be a part of it, but at the end of the day, you yourself personally have to enjoy what you're doing and believe in it, that it can succeed.
As you guys are hearing Afro talk, me and Animal are telling closer to the mic.
French kiss.
French
Mic.
kissing. French kissing.
Stick that tongue on the mic. There you go. That's how you got to do it. Stick that tongue on the mic.
Oh my!
Oh, hey, Alex. I got a quick question for you. Are you going to be doing
Go.
Kapla by yourself?
That's the plan at the moment. Yeah.
All right. Well, doing it by yourself, you realize that it's going to take time, but you have to be when running a league by yourself. You have to be honest with yourself on
Mm.
what you're able to do and being honest with your schedule. Don't rush it. Don't stress yourself because
Yeah.
the reason why power wrestling is so successful with me and Afro is because we both have league experience and we both
Mhm.
understood what was needed to actually have a successful league. And this goes before the WWE aspect too. I've been in different leagues for different video games. When you run in a league, you actually need a team, and if you run in one by yourself, it's only going to be successful if you're honest with yourself because you're the only person you're working
Yeah.
with. So keep that in mind too.
Yeah.
That if you're working by yourself and for yourself, just be honest with yourself on what you can do and what your schedule look like, and you'll be fine. You won't have to never stress it out because you don't have to rely on different people. You're only relying on yourself.
That helps. Oh, you guys. Yeah, well, I'm thinking because obviously I'm by myself. It's going to be show a month with like 7 or 8 matches a card, so that'll be like a month to get eight matches recorded. You know.
Well,
So
just
hopefully-
remember that you are your biggest critic and your biggest fan. That's how you got to look at it. You got to be your biggest fan, your biggest critic, because you're the one that's got to see your show the most. Like, you're going to see it more than anybody else. I promise you that. You will see it more than anybody else.
I'm my worst critic as well.
Exactly, and that's how it's going
You're
to
your best
you've got to really grasp that mindset when you're working on it. Like, you really, when you're running a show, it's like, man, like, even if you've seen something 30 times, that 31st time you're going to notice something else is fucked up, and then you're like, man, I got to go back and do it again or something, I'm going to try to fix it, and it happens. It happens a lot. And then, so Afro, your thoughts on leagues constantly closing after they start up, or leagues that maybe get fire under them, but then the fire gets burned out? I guess that's kind of the way we should have worded the topic.
Yeah. Pretty much my point is touched on a lot of points. Basically, just you have to have. As much as I say we could do this by ourselves, it's always nice to have a core group of people that's supporting you. And if you have that group, you always have a support system. And if you're true to each other and you're true to what you're working with, pretty much it'll be consistent and it'll last. There are going to be a lot of people who doubt your work, hate your work, jealous of your work, but you have to be true to what you got in it to do, and that's to hopefully entertain and put up good shows. It's real difficult to do shows consistently. Take it from myself and Animal. We do this each week, and sometimes it's a real hassle when you have to deal with so many personalities and so many attitudes and egos, and some of these guys act more like divas than the girls. But at the end of the day, we try to get a product out that's to our taste, that we feel proud of, and in all, it's really that's the crux of it, is to put something that you believe is good, and hopefully other people will enjoy your work. And it's,
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So, it is that time, ladies and gentlemen. We call this the live Q&A questions.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
So, before we get into them, though, we had one in the chat box that came up. I don't remember who posted it. I think it was a power wrestler guy. But he had said, what happens if you're on a show and your Xbox Live runs out?
you can't buy
Now-
more.
Yeah, well, yeah. But if you don't have the access to those funds, you can still go and send a message to the guy that records, to your boss, the guy that runs the league,
Yep.
and say, hey, my gold ran out. What can we do?
Just sell your
Now-
body for money.
That too.
sounds
But not everybody is Alex J. Eric. Not everybody can just do that. They can't just turn trick on the corner. Okay, we can't all do that.
It's easy
People
for
like
me.
Die Hard are too old.
corner magician.
People are still interested in that sort of thing. You just got to look for the right place.
Yeah, you got to look for like the 150-year-old women.
Bingo.
Don't judge.
There'll be a bingo.
Hit up the bingo halls.
Like,
But yeah, so to answer that question, that's just kind of a general question. Contact, your boss and say, hey, look, I can't get gold until like the end of the week or until I get paid next week or whatever. If it's a weekly show, maybe they can just have you get an ass kicking for 1 week. If you can't take an ass kicking for 1 week, then maybe you shouldn't let your gold run out. I mean, we all know that Xbox Live isn't free. We all know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess that's really all I got.
No, he says, no, I'm saying how hard is it for a league owner to recover when it happens to their champion?
Oh, if it happens to a champion? Okay. Well, that's like a totally different part to the question. I don't think it'd be that hard, really. I mean, usually the champions are good about having gold, but we've had a recent situation where one of our champs lost his gold, and we filled in for him.
So he lost his gold. So he lost his gold, eh?
No, he lost his Xbox Live gold, so we filled in for him for a week.
Oh,
but
It happens. I mean, for us. Sorry, Afro, go ahead.
No, that was just that. Go ahead.
Oh, well, for us, we had different situations, and one thing we tell people is don't make changes because changes put us a lot of pressure on the owners, depending on what we do, depending on what the owners do. Now, me and Afro, we do a lot when it comes to making people's characters look like main eventers, and then I'd put a lot of time on the website, WrestlingPowerOnline.com, and when somebody make a change after they debut, it takes a lot of time for me to make that change everywhere else we promote. So when you basically become a champion and you're main eventing, it adds a whole lot of, I'm not going to say issues, but it adds on work. It basically adds on work for us to do because we still have to promote and make the person look good, but not bury them because it's not their fault that their gold ran out. It's not their fault that their game broke. And recently we had a few people that said their game broke. Now, whether they lying or not, as professionals, we just say, okay, no problem. Let us know if you ever get things fixed. Or some people just say they're not buying a new game and they're going to wait till 2K14. We say, okay, no problem. And either we find a way to write them off or we just basically have it to where we have somebody play with their character until we can write them off. And, this is things that we think ahead of time with because, I told Die Hard this before. If there's any superstars or characters you should pay attention to in Power Wrestling, that's the Insane Inmates because they're not there just to look crazy and insane. Their gimmick is not just based off of being insane people. They're there to clean up our dirty work as the admins too. Those who don't do what they're supposed to do, they get punished by the inmates. Those who can't participate or be active, they get punished by the inmates. The inmates is an easy way for us to write people off because you have those type of people that either won't do what they're supposed to do or they're not able to. Now, we don't pressure people, and our members know this. We put no pressure on people. You either want to do it or you don't. And either way, we're going to move forward with the show. That's how things work. But to answer the question, though, just plain and simple, it adds work to our plates. But every league owner, they should have their way to basically have a backup plan, a plan B, whether it's a fill-in, a write-off, or any kind of way to basically make things work overall for the show.
Okay, all right, and then so I'm looking at some of my Ask FM questions, and I know Eric's got some of his up.
I've got some. Do you want me to read one?
And then, do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first? How do you want to do this? I got 7.
Go on, you take one.
All right. Well, I'll do this first one. What is the situation with George Phillips, Michael Kelly, Darrell, and James Anderson? George Phillips quit the power. Yep, George Phillips quit the power plant. Michael Kelly quit the power plant. Darrell was released. James Anderson is on the frontline roster.
Brilliant. That was quick.
There you go.
Bish bash bosh.
Couple questions.
Right.
Shall I pick up one? Here we go. Oh, here we go. This is a good one. Are there any calls you miss seeing around in the call community? It's an alright one, isn't it? I'm trying to think. I did read all these earlier and I couldn't think of anything. Vernon Price.
VP.
I miss Vernon. Shane Silver, he hasn't been around for a little while. So I miss Shane. I'm trying to think. Who else isn't about? I can't think of anyone else.
I feel like a league baby right now. I'm just like all these names going over my head.
All right. So, okay, I guess we'll just alternate between questions until we run out here then.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have this one be. I'm assuming this is for everybody here because it was used in a plural form. So, what are some gimmicks you guys enjoy in the CAW community, past and present? So, I'm assuming this is based just on leagues because typically most people that aren't in leagues do not have a gimmick. They just, you know, that's usually why you get a gimmick is when you get into a league. So. Some gimmicks that you enjoy. Well, everybody's gonna say Monroe because the kill 'em all kind of thing. I mean, who doesn't want to kill 'em all? You know, and he's got the Barney badass look. So I'm not even gonna say Monroe just for that simple fact. Honestly, I'm gonna say Scott Barnett, but he knows I'm not referring to Scott Barnett when I say Scott Barnett. But his heel demeanor in 2011. was awesome, and we were talking about it earlier in the chat, but that's a gimmick that I really liked. He was like an underdog, but he was like a badass underdog, and he just in-ring technical prowess, and you didn't know what he was going to do next. You know, so Scott Barnett, 2011, before he was Barnett.
I'm trying to think of one. Being a gimmick man myself. There's a guy in PWR called Barry Stevens who has like the movie star sort of gimmick. And if you've heard him commentate, he has like a voice of an angel. And I started writing some stuff down for him for like his debut because I'm one of their writers. And I've started like planning some stuff, and like it's just sort of characters like that I really enjoy writing for. Just something like that's like not wrestling, but in wrestling. So like my video game gimmick, but like movie star, you know? If you get what I mean.
Right. I get what you mean.
Yeah.
I get what you mean. Yeah. He's a movie star.
Yeah.
Movies.
It's like the outrageous sort of WWE gimmicks. I like those sort of ones.
Is he cocky too?
Oh, show-offs. The army of show.
I don't know.
All right. So we're gonna go to Afro. We're gonna go to Animal last. Afro, what is a gimmick, past or present, within leagues that you watch or that you've seen that you enjoy? And you can be as descriptive or as non-descriptive as you want. That's entirely up to you. It'd probably help though if you moved your mic closer to your mouth.
All right, I'm just gonna make love to it. I'm really a big fan of Ryan James. He's just a good sound wrestler. I love the.
Who? Kiss the mic.
I'm kissing it, son. God, anyway. So interrupted. So there's a couple in my league. Personally, I like one of our former power champions, Case Blizzard. Just a big dude, powerhouse. Of course, Techno Tank, one of our high stars, one of our top stars. You know, revolution of the techno era. Kind of just engulfing that whole culture, that dubstep culture, just that I wouldn't say degeneration. It's just more of like a we're here kind of gimmick, you know, the young generation. Of course, the Insane Inmates. That's just something that's just resonated with me for a long time. It's a good gimmick, you know, just a bunch of circus performers that just kind of went homicidal, you know, went to prison, came out to start wrecking stuff up. Just no nonsense. Just goes right there and rip it up. No regrets, no remorse. It's a couple of PWR talents I really enjoy. Embarrassed not to know the names right off the bat. I think one was Magnus, not Magnus, Stigma, I think. Really, I like the look, just black, kind of a Raven vibe. So yeah, it's a lot of good gimmicks, a lot of good cars out there.
Okay. All right, and then Animal.
Yeah, I got a favorite superstar, favorite creation of all time. Whether it even tops all other creations that I personally came encounter with in the past. But before I get to that, I just want to give a shout out to Orion James. I love his gimmick. I love his character. Orion
Ryan
James.
James forever, man.
He did it. OJ did it. But um, there's a superstar in power wrestling named Black Falcon, and his gimmick was made solely for comedy, and his character was supposed to be nothing but jobber, 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 and it turned out to be this one of the biggest things we had in power wrestling and within our league experience because the gimmick represents a lot of things in society that people don't pay attention to, and for those of you who know Black Falcon is his slave name. His name is Doom Kulu, Big Brother Doom Kulu. And the gimmick basically turns the opposite cheek of a white supremacist to a black supremacist. Everything you say to this guy, there's a black side of it. If you believe in religion, he says Jesus was black. If you believe in supporting homosexuality, he says a black man didn't make that up. Anything you say, any problem in society, he tackles it to a black aspect, and it's just so funny. And it's not a way he doesn't add the African American aspect to it as a way to be disrespectful. He does it in a clever way to make it comical yet influential. You can actually learn from listening to his promos. And his character alone built up through storyline to influence other superstars and basically created the BWO, which stands for Black World Order. And he basically figuratively speaks about the white man as being those people or that of which I do not speak of. And basically the gimmick represents so much in society that people don't pay attention to, whether it be racism, whether it be discrimination, mistreatment. It doesn't only stay within a black community, but people always understand that phrase when it comes to, oh, why you say this or why you're doing it is because I'm black. So it adds that comical sense when it comes to Black Falcon. And then his character alone, if you see his character, he's not the average big black dude that you would see on TV. He's like a little scrawny dude who looks like a jobber, but because he built that whole Black Power unity thing, it built into one of the biggest things we've ever had in power wrestling and within my league experience and other leagues too. I've never had a gimmick that I just have so much fun watching, and people watch him in a group, and it's like you either love them or you love to hate them. And you got so many people who love to hate them. They could say the worst things in the world about them, and it's like he'll just address it in the next show and tell and put the black side to it. It's just really fun and watching him and listening to the things he say and the things he do. It's just I enjoy his gimmick a whole lot.
Shout out to
Well, so in
BCB.
other words, yeah, and then I saw you say beat. I saw you say it in the chat, but so in other words, he's not Vin Raines, he's Mike Epps.
A whole lot worse than Mike Epps.
Oh, whole lot worse.
All right, so Alex J. Eric, you got another question for us.
I've got one. It's for all of us, I guess. It's boxers, briefs, thong, or commando.
Mm,
I'm not much for warfare. I'm gonna go boxer briefs.
I'm gonna say Commando.
I tried it once. It's not good.
I'm a commando kind of guy.
Ooh.
No Momo.
TMI. Just
TMI.
Hey.
Who that?
TMI.
You need that natural air breeze, man. That natural AC.
Get for
For real.
and a humidity.
The Afro wouldn't know anything about that because he got the Afro.
The air flows beautifully through my head.
You're right. There's no ventilation over there.
Sir, the air flows beautifully.
All right, so I'm gonna kind of put these next two together.
Go on.
All right. So the first part of this question is going to be, what leagues do you think will outshine others in WWE 2K14? That's the first part of the question. And then here's the second one. Your top 5 favorite matches from WWE 13 leagues. So I'm assuming
This
that
is
would
gonna
be...
be. It's gonna be optimistic.
This is definitely an opinionated thing, so everybody's gonna have their own opinions, but
It's pretty
that's
good.
good.
It's good.
You know, that's good because we all get to have our opinion. So I guess I'll start on this one. What league or leagues do I think will outshine others in 14? I want to say the power plant's gonna rise above it all and shine the brightest, but
Say it. I support it.
no, I can't say that because then it makes me sound way too egotistical. And I'm not that egotistical of a douchebag, but I would say come 2K14, I really, really hope to see PWR shine really bright.
I love the first episode.
First episode was great, so like I said, I really would like to see PWR shine.
The
in
second
14.
one's coming.
And then for my top 5 favorite matches from 13, I'm assuming this is just matches in general, not matches that I've personally played in. So I'm gonna do it like that. I would have to say my number 5, my least favorite, but still one of my top 5 in my fave 5, was probably Bryson, which was me versus Damien Gamer at Urban Warfare, the cage match. It was so fun. I really enjoyed playing that match, and I think that was one of the favorite matches I've seen for me, for my personal opinion.
Mm-hmm.
My number 4, I am going to go with Arthur's versus Verdi.
Ooh.
Was it No Remorse?
Yeah.
Was that the first one? Yeah, No Remorse
No.
was the first. Was that
Hold on.
the first one that they did? Was that No Remorse?
Resurgence.
No.
Resurgence.
Yeah, Resurgence.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at Resurgence, number 3, I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say Ryan Giovanni
Woohoo.
and Vivi.
All right.
That was good.
And then my number 2 match, I would say, again, it's gonna sound like I'm tooting my own horn, but and this was a recent one too. So if you haven't seen it, then you should go watch it because it's like some of the best stuff I've done is Die Hard. But Die Hard versus Damien Gamer at Network Collision.
Word.
Yeah.
That was just an amazing. I felt really good in that match, like when I was playing it, and things just flowed really well. It really looked like a brawl. It really looked like Die Hard was an old geezer trying to, reclaim some throne that he thinks he lost or something. I don't know. But and then my number 1 favorite match, and this is a TPP match. I would have to say Craig Hazard, AC Arthurs from episode 19, only because
Word.
just it wasn't just because it was on TPP, but it was the fact that the way that it all happened, the way it all came about, because it wasn't exactly a pre-planned type thing. It was, I was approached by Arthurs for the match, and I was like, you know what, we can do this. And it took us numerous attempts to get this match to go. And so the match that everybody saw, the 30-minute spectacle, was like 3 different parts combined into one big part. But it was fun, and it gave us a branching point into what we're doing now. So that was one of my favorite matches of 13. Just seeing and I wasn't even involved in it. I was just the ref, just watching them get to have fun, because I never got to see Arthurs and Hazard wrestle before when they were in the power plant. Previously, it never happened. We saw like John Russell's and Hazard, but we never saw Arthur's versus Hazard. And so for me, that was that shining moment in 13 for me, and I really liked that moment. I liked being a part of it, and I liked watching it. I even loved doing commentary on it. It was so fun to get excited about it. And but yeah, so those are my top 5.
Good list.
Really good list.
All right, and then who wants to go next?
I'll go.
Yeah.
Well, if any of you guys want to go.
I'm still thinking.
All right, I'll go. What was the first part of the question?
The first part was, what league do you think will outshine, or what league or leagues, so you can do plural if you make more than one, will outshine others in 14?
Well, I would personally not like to see any league outshine each other, because we're all in the same boat, and people need to understand that we're all trying to do the same things, but we have different talents in each area. Like TPP's audio, and Die Hard will admit that that's his thing, is awesome. And I think every league has its special uniqueness to it, because you have certain people who's just very talented in certain areas. So in general, I don't want to see any league outshine each other. I would like to see every league absorb from each other and learn to better themselves overall. That's what I would like to see. Um, as far as the matches go, um, just kind of being new to other leagues and looking at other matches and stuff. I think I have a top four, well, not a top five. I'm missing one, I guess. But I guess I'll start from four. The fourth number four, I would say my favorite match was within our league, Power Wrestling, which was it was Black Falcon versus Brother Death. That was it's a classic to us because the way it all started, because Brother Death is basically the whole Undertaker remake gimmick, and I already previously stated how Black Falcon gimmick was, it is actually, and the way it came about was we had a religious character, Noah Cage, foretell the coming of Brother Death. At the same time, foretell the coming of BWO. And while nobody's knowing what's going on, it just so happened that Brother Death had came after Black Falcon, and the chemistry that happened between those two characters in a match just went so well and so perfect. And it's just a match that I will never forget as far as Power Wrestling's greatest goes. At number three, I gotta say was a match that I recently seen, but that's been up for a while. Was a match between Hollywood Ron of RCW, I believe, and is he part of RCW? Yeah, right.
Yep.
Yeah, Hollywood Ron versus Shingo. I recently seen that match, and I loved how that match played out. They had very good chemistry. They know how to play. They know how to sell. That's something that we try to tell different people every day on how to sell and how to perfect their game. It's about performing well, because you have people who know how to perform. You have people who know how to win, of course, because there's always little cheap tactics. But the challenge within any league is to know how to perform and win if you add that competitive aspect to it. At number three, I'm going to go with Die Hard with TPP because I'm a fan, of course, fanboy. But Die Hard versus Gamer, Die Hard versus Gamer. I love that. That match motivated me to help my members know how to basically put on good shows. And with that said, just going off of TPP even more, my number one match is the same thing, which would be Arthurs versus Craig Hazard. And I remember seeing that match, and the first thing I asked Die Hard was, who's Arthurs? Where can I find more info about him? Where is he now? That match, based off of the information I got from Die Hard, I basically caught on quick to how things were before me and Afro started our league, and how things were in the whole simulation aspect when it goes from core wrestling to every other core leagues and core shows. And watching that match, it sparked something within my development as far as like being a leader and helping people that's a part of my league, or so basically I'm surrounded with, to help them influence for the betterment. You want to help them improve their game as well as improve the show overall. But the show can only grow as far as everybody else puts in their part to make the show grow. I'm going to do whatever I got to do to make the show good and make the show continue. But if everybody else put in their time of work to make sure that they're putting on that type of show, then the show overall becomes good. And I remember watching the show and watching the build up, and Die Hard was like, we got a surprise for y'all. Can't wait to see it. I'm like, I don't know what to expect because I'm still sort of new into the roster and what's going on. But when I seen him and I seen everybody else's reaction, I kind of got a hint of who this guy was. But the more I asked, and that's another thing, people, don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't ever be afraid to ask questions. They tell you that in school. Don't be afraid to open your mouth and ask questions. And that's exactly what I do. I ask Die Hard questions, ask them about AC authors, and I learned as much as possible. And then I opened up and learned about different people and how they do things, sim style, etc., etc. You got to be willing to have an open mind and learn.
All right, and then so Afro, what league do you think will outshine in 14 and your top 4 or 5 matches, however many you want to do?
As my partner said, I'm a fan. I'm a fan first and foremost, and I would like to see a lot of these leagues thrive as the new game comes in. But I would like to see more PWR. Like I said, I really enjoyed the first episode. TPP is doing great. I think it'll definitely thrive. And of course, shameless plug. I like to see Power Wrestling, continue to move, you know, as we progress as well. As far as my list, like I said, I'm a league baby, so I'm discovering a lot of things as I network. But I have to say my number, it'll be four as well. My number four, I have to say, was the Damian Gamer versus Die Hard at Network Collision. I thought it was a really, really good match. Uh, Number three, uh, the main event, PWR. I think it was Strider versus Monroe.
Excellent match.
I love the build up, how it was built up, and this was, I had no idea about the two competitors. I just was watching it. It was all new to me, but I just love the way it was built up. The crowd and the way the commentators built up both superstars and the execution from both superstars. It was really put together. My number two, be a power wrestling match. Both of these competitors are very good at selling, very good at competing. Twisted Mike versus Case Blizzard was the co-main event for All or Nothing. They put on a really good show. It was a last man standing match for the power title. I have to say, for me, the number one was a fatal four-way for the first ever power championship against Jason Virgil, first ever power champion, Angus Adams, Jay Franco, and Noah Cage. It was just kind of, for us, personally for me, it was just like a milestone for us. Kind of our first ever title, our first ever pay-per-view at Discharge. It was a real special moment for us. From there we kind of evolved and progressed.
Okay.
Shall I go with mine?
Oh yeah.
Ah.
Are you ready? Okay, remember the first part is what league or leagues do you think will outshine others, and then your favorite 5 matches.
I was thinking about the first question, and my answer is it's probably going to be a league that doesn't even exist yet, outside the box.
That is
man.
true.
Yeah. Someone's going to think tomorrow, wow, I'm going to start a cool league, and it's going to be the best thing in the world. That's how it's going to go. But no, I hope TPP have a good year, and hopefully I can get my show started. Also, I'm going to have to check out Power Wrestling now that I've met you guys.
Yeah.
But, oh no, making those connections. But I've got a little list in the chat that I wrote down while you guys were talking, just so that I knew what I was going to say, so I wasn't blubbering around for ages. Because I know what I'm like. But the first one I put down was Aaron Matthews versus VB from Downfall 10.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Such a good match, and it's probably one of the first cool matches I'd seen with like proper false finishes in. I love false finishes; they're like the best. But the whole show, I'm gonna go out and say it, but sometimes the commentary was a bit belittling to the people involved in the show. But I thought the show was actually quite good. If you would have taken some of the commentary out, I thought the show was actually really good. But yeah, the main event for that show was excellent. My second one is, because I'm so self-centered, it's a match that I hopefully will release during the time of WWE 13, but it's a match I had with Scott Barnett, so he can be happy now that we're feeding his ego. But on the first Kapow show, I have a match recorded with him that's probably the best match I've ever had. So I thought I'd put that down on my list because I was very proud of that one. I had Craig Hazard versus AC Arthurs down because it would have been one of the first TPP shows I watched. And I just thought that match was really good. And, I wanted to find out who Craig Hazard was so I could play him as well. Let me know his gamer tag. I've got AC Arthurs versus Scott Barnett from No Remorse, which I think is the best match of the year. Did you guys get a chance to see it?
Yes.
It's so good. I watched it back the other night just to watch it again. But I just thought the whole story building up to that one, with the video package and everything, I just thought the whole story was played off really well by the two of them, and the match was well thought out and had a great story to it. and I just love them both. So that's my favourite match of the year. But then I had Monroe and Alex Strider down as well from the first episode of PWR because they knocked out Paulie D referee at the beginning. And I just thought the structure of that match was great as well, and it kept me entertained. And that's what you look for, really, isn't it? Just something to keep you entertained. So that was 5 matches that I thought were really good this year.
Okay.
Yay.
All right. So I've got 3 other questions left. How many questions you got on your ask? You got what, 5 left?
I've got quite a few left. But some of them aren't. I don't think they're like. Hold on. Yeah, go with one of yours, and I'll just check out these again.
All right. So well, we got this one. Who do you think had the most impressive debut in all of the? Why a lot of league questions tonight on my Ask FM?
I don't know.
Who do you think had the most impressive debut in leagues for WWE 13? I'm assuming the same person asked these questions.
These are all gonna be like personal questions. Somewhat.
The most This is such an opinionation. You know, it's so opinionated because it's hard for me to say like who I think had the most impressive. I mean, if I was to say in TPP, I would say this year the most impressive debut we had was no doubt about it was Orion James. We had him come in,
Man
he
came
beat
in
the
hot.
champ. Yeah, he came in hot as hell and he beat the champ. He made him tap out. He made the champ tap. You know, and then he lost at the following pay-per-view, which was like sad face. You know, totally trolled you guys on that one. But most impressive debut. I don't know. I mean, outside of TPP, other than Orion James, I would say
Orion James.
I'm trying. Like, I want to say Joshua Phoenix, but he hasn't technically debuted in PWR yet, has he?
No, he's just burst on the scene like really quick.
Yeah. I was gonna say. I mean, he just got signed into PWR. Otherwise, I'd say Phoenix, but I can't because he hasn't technically debuted. So, and I don't know if the PWR episode's gonna be up before 14 comes out.
No, it's gonna be out on 14.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I figured. So, okay. So I can't say. I'm sorry if you watch this. Joshua, I'm sorry, I can't say it.
But we love you.
We do. You were right there in the corner of my mind. I was going to say you, but I can't say it because you haven't technically debuted. So, most impressive debut.
Bubba Biggums.
Yes. Okay, I'll give you that one. Bubba Biggums. Yeah, very impressive debut, no doubt about it. Straight up, fucking came in.
Lost.
Yeah. Exactly, lost. That's the best way to make your debut. Come in full head of steam. Lose the match.
Yeah, just like I did.
So yeah, I'm gonna go with Bubba Biggums. If I'm saying TPP related, Orion James. Outside of TPP, Bubba Biggums.
I hope that's a joke. No, I'm joking. Bubba Biggums, gotta love him. I'm trying to think now. Shall I go next?
Yeah, you can go next.
Go on. TPP. I like James Mackay.
Everybody likes him.
I love James
Everybody
Mackay.
likes him. Everybody, he's so over right now.
He's
I'll stick
beautiful.
with Orion James.
I think Diehard needs to break his legs so he can't wrestle anymore. Cause
Just let him go out there with no legs.
Go ahead. Someone's got to pay. OJ already injured.
Oh man.
But no, I watched his match with Scythe as well. It was pretty good, wasn't it?
yeah, the Scythe, the Mackay match. That was one of my favorite matches, but I was trying to. I should have said. I wish that person would have said your top 6 favorite matches or like top 7, maybe top 10. Why didn't you say top 10?
Oh,
Why did you say top 5?
Come on, person.
Yeah, person. You and your anonymous Ask FM account.
Oh, give us your name so we can flame you on Twitter. Come on.
That's right. Come on, let's start that Twitter war.
I've been involved in too many of those recently.
Yes, you have.
Oh, don't tell me off. Can't help it. So,
All right. So you're in your opinion the most impressive debut this year.
I'm trying to, because obviously I'm new, so I don't know who's actually debuted.
Well, we'll do it from when you started.
Well,
So you came in at what, episode 5 or 6? I believe,
episode 5 of NGC. So
so we'll go from there then.
let's think. The Crummy Bears.
That name alone sounds epic.
That works. That works.
Because they came in and lost.
That is a magnificent name.
Come back to me. I might have a name for you in a second.
Okay.
I'm really trying to think.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you guys are really putting us on the spot. Why didn't you ask these questions like a week ago? I could have had everybody ready, you know? You asked these questions like 15 minutes before the podcast went up, and I was like, okay, you know? And so...
Word.
All right, so we're going to jump over to Afro. And Afro, we need you to
man.
move that mic over by your Adam's apple or closer to your chin or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
We need
booty
I was
mic.
gonna install one like in my tonsils.
So, who do you think this year, in your opinion, most impressive debut?
Oh man, put me on the spot. I might have to go power with this, in my opinion. Let's see. Not playing favorites. I have to admit, probably Brother Death, in my opinion. Well, it was early on, you know, when he started appearing, and when he finally debuted in a match. You know, a lot of people, he had a lot of buzz in our league, so I have to say that. As far as I can, off the top of my head.
Okay. All right, and admin animal, Mr. Fifth Animal.
C.
Favorite debut or most impressive debut?
I might get a little heat, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say no one, for the simple fact that I don't know. Maybe you guys agree, maybe you guys don't. But when it comes to debuting, a lot of it goes into promotion. You have to build the hype for people. You have to promote them a certain way in order for them to live up to the hype. If you just debut somebody and they do all this great stuff, if it's not done properly, if it's not promoted properly, then it's not going to mean anything. And you know, I'm not trying to put down any shows or any superstars. You know, even in our own league in power wrestling, it's not easy to promote people. And I keep telling people that keep signing up with these crappy gimmicks, like there's a certain way you have to promote a superstar. Everybody's promoted differently, and it's not easy when you have to do more than one superstar, especially when you have to put over one superstar over another. It's not easy to have a good debut if you keep pressuring us to. You know, a lot of times we have people that come in and they're like, when I'm going to have my debut match? Can I have this match in my hometown? Can I do this for my match? Can this match be a Hell in a Cell when I debut? I'm like, you have to have a background built up around it. You have to promote it so, one, people can watch it, have a reason to look at it. Two, people have knowledge of what you're about, what to expect. And three, people have to feel relative to the character, I should say. You can't just go out there and expect to be the best thing to ever walk in the core wrestling history. You have to give people a reason to give you attention, and just going in there and winging at it and hoping for the best is not the way you do it. And leaders and league owners, they know this too, because you see them promote different people, different shows on different ways too. It's all about promotion, and I don't think people are going to have great debuts unless they're promoted properly and promoted to the best of their ability and gimmick at the same time. So if I had to choose somebody, I would still say Orion James, because as a TPP fan, that's my number one guy. I'm an OJ fan. Other than that, I can slightly agree with Afro on the Brother Death guy, because within Power Wrestling, that was our first person that we actually promoted for a debut. And the storyline that we went with it was using a religious character named Noah Cage, had to foretell different things. And when Brother Death appeared, it finally clicked. Everybody was able to put the stories together and understand why everything took place. It was like watching a movie, but I would not say that's the best debut I've seen. Could we have done better? Of course we could have. Everybody evolves. Everybody gets better at doing things, period. But as a whole in the league shows that I've been watching, and I go in and out of different leagues to watch and learn, I haven't really seen the proper build up for a superstar like we would see on TV. But they have the funds to do so, they have the sources to do so. But understand, promotion is very important when it comes to debuting and building up hype.
All right. So Alex J. Eric, do you got your most impressive debut figured?
I'm just got to go Joshua Phoenix, just because he's had a couple of matches recorded and put on YouTube. And I can't think of anything else.
All right.
I'm just a
That
big.
is okay.
I'm
That's
just a
okay.
big Joshua Phoenix mark. I know.
Yeah, you're just a big mark.
Yeah.
Hey.
All right.
Yeah.
So this is a personal question that I was asked by a friend of mine that's listening to the podcast. And so this, since we all run our own form or fashion of a league, we got Alex J. Eric trying to get Kapow off the ground, which is good. And I want to see that strive. I want to see it strive. So this will be kind of a what would you do in this situation? For like myself and Afro and Animal, we can kind of take this one direct. What is your opinion on breaking the fourth wall on the show, like in commentary, promos, like people when they fill out their application say they were trained by HBK or Daniel Bryan, things like that. How is that tolerated on your part? Would you prefer everything to be fantasy-based, or do you not mind the real-life aspect being brought into it, or real-life counterparts? Like for me personally within TPP, Die Hard was trained by people that I mentioned throughout when I first started playing SmackDown vs. Raw online, like back on the PS2. Those are the people that I say Die Hard was trained with, like Brandon Thompson and Brian Richardson. Those are both two dudes that I played with for like 2 years, on the SmackDown games. So that's like where I say Die Hard got his training from, although technically I don't think that's where he got his training from. For me, I'm not like a real stickler on it. If somebody wants to say they were trained by HBK, more power to you. But, I guess to a certain extent, I wouldn't want Billings to say, oh, the famous HBK trained, this person. You know what I mean? So I guess that's kind of where I stand at. I tolerate it to a certain extent, but I will not break that fourth wall on commentary when it comes to that. Like, when it comes to actual WWE, I'm not going to say HBK or, The Undertaker, Triple H, something like that.
Yeah. True.
All right, and how do you feel about it, Animal?
I guess, yeah. I'll tell you right now, power wrestling, we don't tolerate it. And mostly for legal reasons and for our show's sake, we don't allow. We allow the breaking the fourth wall to an extent, but when it comes to other known superstars, as far as like what we see on television, we don't allow it because we strongly believe in people basically getting their creations out there. We want people to voice their opinions, their creativity, everything that they've worked hard and care about. We want that to be known and not what everybody else know. You have your knockoffs and you have your favorite wrestlers you want to mock, but we want you to bring everything, all of your creativity in you, we want it to bring out. So if someone signs up and they were trained in a Heart Dungeon, or they met Chris Benoit and learned this and that, all types of stuff, we say, okay, if that's what you want to go with, that's your gimmick, but we don't promote it. You'll never hear us in commentary or on the website, and everybody on our website has their personal bios. We don't put that in the bios. We don't promote that. We don't build that around the character. You would never see stuff like that in promos or anything. That's just not what we're trying to sell as a product for power wrestling. However, if there's a gimmick that we can use to our advantage and do so, then we would do it. And we've demonstrated this plenty of times, whether it be Twitter battles or whether it just be someone trying to be funny. We take anything and turn it into a show and storyline. And not recently, I'm not going to say recently, a few months ago, around the same time that Brother Death came in, later for a few months, we had this character named Jake. And his gimmick was that he had a group called the Nexus World Order, and he basically said that I was the only successful core champion in WWE. He said that he defeated CM Punk, and then wound up forming a stable with CM Punk and Kevin Nash and called it the Nexus World Order. Now, don't question me about it because I questioned myself about it. But we took that gimmick and turned it into something enjoyable. We made him look and seem delusional, and people loved it. We carried on for a while with it, and because we took that and turned it into a storyline, it wound up helping bring out one of our biggest stables, which is Black World Order. If it wasn't for Jay and that delusional gimmick we gave him saying that stuff, Black World Order wouldn't have came out because he basically argued with Black Falcon. It was white versus black, Nexus versus black, and that turned into a stable fight, and from there it went on and grew. But as far as it goes overall, we don't promote that kind of fourth wall breakage. We prefer people to bring the best out of themselves instead of promoting what they keep seeing on TV because they're the one who already get attention. You want your creations to get attention. You want people to say best match was Arthur's versus Hazard. You want people to say that I enjoyed seeing your character fight. I enjoy seeing Monroe. You want people to say those things about your creation. You feel good about your creation. That's what we want for you too. Anybody that watches the shows, you need to see that we take your character, and it goes for any other league. It's all about promoting and bringing the best of your character and your creations and bringing the best out of them to help people see what you see in your character.
All right. And then, let's see. Trying to think, what was our initial question? I don't even remember. Oh, yeah.
The fourth wall.
The fourth wall. Yeah, the fourth wall. All right. So, Alex J. Afro, did you want to say something or before we go over to Alex? Or
No. Keep the ball rolling.
All right. Well, so like I said, we know that you're just starting out with Kapow. So
Yes.
If I guess you're gonna kind of get the opportunity to kind of get it out there now, but I guess if you were faced with that situation where somebody came in and said they were trained by HBK or like the Undertaker, you know, are you tolerable of that or intolerable? You know, I mean,
I'd be all for it. Just make some jokes on commentary.
okay.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, he has surpassed the dead man.
Yeah.
He has surpassed the dead man.
Like, I don't know. I'd just find some way to work it into some kind of joke or something like that, you know, just to
Okay.
keep the entertainment rolling. But like, because I don't make any bones about it. Like the whole Kapow thing's like, it's based off of PWG. If any of you guys have seen it,
Yes.
so we wouldn't like. I'm basing it off of like a show that I watch. So like, I'm not gonna tell anyone that they can't have mentions of being trained by whoever they want to say they were trained by. But me personally, trained by Scott Barnett, my favourite guy in the world. Just thought I'd throw that out there. But yeah, I don't see any problem with it. The fourth wall, always good to be broken. Love it.
All right.
I will say this. I made a joke a while back because I was so fed up with the glitches in the game. I made an illusion like, why do you do that? I'm like, well, don't blame me, blame this crappy game we're stuck in. And it was like 4 minutes of pause, silence. It was, if it's in for all fun and games, just for a joke, then yeah, why not? As long as it's just something generic or, whatever.
All right. Well, that's
a good joke, actually.
Like my thing is, like I said, I'm tolerable to an extent of it. I tend to try to keep, their physical names out, but I do make, minor references throughout, when I do things.
Yep.
So I'm tolerable and intolerable at the same time. And so I guess, do we want to keep going on the Ask FMs or do we want to wrap this up? We've been at this now for about an hour and a half. So we'll take a quick vote here in the chat box. If you type the number 1, that means you want us to keep going. If you type the number 2, that means you're tired of hearing my voice. We'll give you guys 3 seconds since you're on a 3-second delay.
Oof.
They're all talkative when we're talking. Oh, okay, here we go. So VB doesn't like hearing my voice. Thanks, VB. I've always been a big fan of yours. Thanks a lot, asshole.
VB, if I say that it's going to be my voice, will you change your vote? Just wait for VB to write again.
Well, it looks like we're at 4-3. So And now we have 4, 3, and 2.
Oh man, that's like Big Brother club.
Well, I've got a couple of more questions on Ask FM. Oh, we got a 1.5 here. That's you got to do 2.5 because that's like a near fall. 2.5 is a near fall, like 2 3/4, 2 7/8.
Hit the rope.
Okay, well, I guess we can keep going. We can finish up our Ask FMs, I suppose. So, you got a question you want to throw in there, Alex, or?
I got one from Hannah Brightly.
Okay.
It's a good one. If you were a Pokemon, what would you be?
Oh.
If I was a Pokemon, what would I be?
Yeah.
I love this one.
Wait, what was that? What was the name of that green one? Was there a green one?
Yeah,
There's
there's
plenty
lots of great ones.
Yeah, but it was like just a flat green one.
Oh,
It was like just.
Make me think now.
Oh, hold on, I'm gonna look it up. Pokemon.
I just know the original.
Green one.
All right, let's see. I'll tell you in a second. Because I used to have this Pokemon card when I was younger.
I'd like to be a Ditto.
Beat up one of those rare ones. I was like, oh, that's cool.
I mean, everybody would say they'd want to be Pikachu, because
That's boring.
That's what people know.
exactly, that's like, yeah, you can't be Pikachu. No, you can't be Pikachu. So,
I want to be
Or if Pikachu was a wrestler, he'd be stuck on voltage. But that's I mean,
Be Johnson.
I don't know. I'm looking at this picture of a cat, and it's like painted like Pikachu. That's actually kind of cool.
Is that Meow?
I'll send you the link to the picture. Hold on a second. View image. I'm gonna put it in the chat box too, so you guys can all see this picture, so you guys don't miss all that action right there. That picture looks great. Look at that. That's so. that is awesome.
Oh wow. Oh wow. I gotta give me one.
Oh,
That shit
man.
is awesome.
You look so sad. Like, why is this happening to me?
I think I'm dying.
I wish I knew all the Pokemon names. So I'm gonna give you a picture of all the ones of this image I found of all the Pokemon,
Oh, man.
and I'm gonna tell you guys what row and what number
Oh,
I would be.
Dear
Oh, wow.
God.
I would be.
So it's a lot. They grown
Oh,
over the
2,
years.
3, 4, 5, 6. It's 7 down, and the
Jesus.
second one in. It's got like a little.
Chikorita.
kinda-
Oh yeah, Chikorita.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a lame. I know
Oh,
that.
yeah.
So a Pokemon that's got the word chick in it. You want to be that, hey?
Hell yeah.
Oof.
Damn, Skippy. I am.
Oh, it's,
I am comfortable with the diehard sexuality. So.
hey, there you go, man. Oh, this is taking me back.
I'd
Team
probably
up.
be a side duck. Always with the headache, but he sure pack a head punch.
That's what I like on
That
Twitter
bald head,
sometimes.
right?
Uh-oh. Little stubble. Have a little stubble coming out the middle of his head.
All right. So who would you be, Alex?
Cubone, because he's miserable. And it'd be fun to be miserable. I love Cubone. I had a dream about Cubone when I was younger, because I didn't know it. I was going for a stage where I loved to be Pikachu. Everybody did.
All right.
And I had this dream that I had a Cubone, and once I had that dream, I was just like, right, I want a Cubone. Just because they're so angry, and they don't like anything. I don't know why, but ever since then, I've just always wanted a Cubone, so I'd be a Cubone.
Okay.
And actually,
All
for
right. So.
Die Hard, I'll tell you which row it is. If I can find. Oh, yeah, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5th row, and the 4th one along.
Oh, nice.
Little skull on my head.
I wish this would have been like a bigger picture, but I know that there's a lot of Pokemon, so they had to
Whole lot. We were actually
600
talking
now.
about that earlier before the podcast because I'm a lame. I don't care. I'll play Pokemon. I'll play anything I feel is fun to play. I told people in the league too. I forgot to pick up Just Dance 2014 yesterday. I'm pissed, but I will get TNT done on time or early so I can have time to play those games. But Afro wants to deny liking Pokemon. Why don't you tell everybody which Pokemon you would be, Afro?
Since you're gonna put me on the spot, probably a Kadabra.
Yes.
Ooh.
Oh, word? You a Magic Man?
A very magic man.
Okay.
You been spoons?
when I'm angry, yeah.
I'm not gonna ask what else you've been.
I'm just digging the whole mustache thing. The whole, her Jimi Hendrix vibe. So I'm digging that.
Okay, so we ready for another Ask FM question?
Go on.
Okay. Who has been the most dominant heel in the past 3 months in colleagues?
Oh man.
TCO.
In the past 3 months? God. Okay, so let's see. It's October now, so they're saying what, July? I'm gonna say it like this, just because of the way that the commentary was on Downfall or on 10 for NGC. I'm gonna say BH was the best heel in that situation. I mean, yeah, he was being a heel, but he was also being a douchebag. But the delivery as a heel, although the English was horribly broken and barely understandable and comprehensible, I will give him that. He made people fucking hate his guts.
He made me not want to watch the show, but I wanted to watch it.
Exactly. He made you not want to watch the show, but you still watched it. So that's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna give the benefit of the doubt, and everybody who knows me knows there's no love lost between me and Fam. We all know this, but I'm gonna say he even surpassed the hatred that I could get from people. And I can get a lot of people to get really, really upset with me. I would say me, but I'm gonna give it to him because he made people hate him more than anybody's ever hated me.
Oh
ever.
man.
Uh-oh.
So.
Oh man. That's that heat.
That was legit heat. That wasn't in character. That was legit heat. So I'm gonna give it to BH on that one. So all right, Animal. Past 3 months, who do you think has been the most dominant heel? Whether I guess I'm just kind of guessing that they figure we can say in promos, not just matches. So that's why I named him. So I'm just saying in a very broad spectrum, you can do it matches, promo, whatever you want, or just like if it's a faction, whatever, the best heel that you've seen in the past 3 months.
Oh, well, I guess if it was like in characters, I would say TCO. I've seen, like I said, I watch TPP, and I see the average heels and faces. They go up and down, and then when I see TCO, I'm like, oh shit, why they do that? they be hurting people's feelings and shit. Excuse my language, but I actually like watching them. But as far as like, I guess people go, when it comes to a character being a heel, and then it comes to the owner being a heel too, and like people disliking them, I would, and I hope he don't take offense to this, and he's probably not listening. But yeah, this guy's probably at work. But it's the owner of Brother Death, and I would leave. His gamer tag is Xeno699. Those who don't know him, if you did know him, you probably wouldn't like him. A lot of people don't like him, and Afro and I, we have our moments where we like him, and then we try to help him to be liked. But he's that type of person where he cares a lot about his characters, and he will find. Like I mentioned earlier, we have that character Black Falcon who takes anything, any situation, he throws the black power on it. Xeno's the type of person where he takes anything and throws his character on it, and then he'll give an excuse why things didn't come out his way. He'll just make you feel like you have to stay on top of him and attack him. He's that type of person who can easily provoke you and get under your skin and make you just want to.
He's a master of button pushing, and it's almost casual landing.
Like I feel like if he was to join other leagues, he wouldn't be liked. But his characters are actually very well put together. As far as like being knockoff gimmicks of other superstars like Undertaker and Kane, he does a very good job in putting the twist on it and a very good job into the stories. There's a reason that we keep him around, and Power Wrestling has yet to ever fire anybody from the league. We are very open and we work with people, but as far as like the character gimmicks and how people carry themselves in their creations, I gotta say from experience, this guy, and I'm not saying that based off of other people that I've met, because I haven't met other people, but I know dealing with life itself and the type of people I've dealt with, he's one of he's one of those people that I know would get on a lot of people's nerves, and people come to me different days, different times, saying different things, and people that's not even in our league, they've came
wanna
to us with problems with him, and they're like, "Oh, you're just trying to protect your champion. I hate power wrestling. Shove it up your ass. All types of stuff." And it's like, we never said anything to this person. How he bring this trouble and drama upon us? You know, just because they know him and he's affiliated with us, we draw drama and a dislike, and it's like. He's that type of person, I guess, that just brings that heel drama naturally as a person in character. He knows how to do it, and the funny thing is, that's who he is. He's not pretending. But I respect him, man. I respect how it works out. It's
All right, Afro.
enjoyable.
Yes. Me personally, there's a guy that we love, man, because he's always on top of things, and he's a really good worker. Bowtie Bandit. This kid, his gimmick is just so original to me. I mean, if you looked at the guy on paper, he was just I believe he said he was a former tag team kind of character, but when he made him a solo competitor, the way he evolved was just beautiful in my opinion. It seems to be a simple gimmick. The way, if you look at him, he looks just like some knockoff villain. Like he looked like a henchman of a villain. But the way he does it, the way he sells himself as a heel, is just brilliant in my opinion. He doesn't like women. Matter of fact, he detests women. He thinks that he should put them in their place. He's attacked women, power drive them. You know, he often says BTB can stand for Bowtie Bandit or beat them bitches. It's just brilliant. And he accumulates heat like no other. I've had actual female members in our league say, I want to fight him with my prima. We call our divas prima donnas. Like, I want my prima donna to fight this guy. He's a douche. I'm like, this is perfect. But he knows how to build heat on himself, and it just seemed like he's coming off scot free. Like he could care less. It's a really good gimmick in my opinion.
Okay. All right, and then Mr. Eric.
Hello.
All right, so the most dominant heel in the past 3 months.
Ooh. Well, if we're talking July,
Yep.
Because obviously me being an NGC, Scott Barnett, I keep mentioning him. He's not in the chat anymore, and I'm still mentioning him. But in the last couple of months of NGC, in the last month of NGC, he was built up really big, and playing the big heel character, and his promos were starting to get a bit of reaction from people, and he was starting to get a lot of popularity for him. And I think he was just built up really well as a heel. And even though I had a little bit of a tiff at him earlier on Twitter, Maxwell Verdi obviously always gets a bit of a mention because he does play the heel really well, even though everybody loves him in the community. But he always has played the heel character really well, and even though it doesn't really work and people don't give him the sort of reaction he wants, I think regardless he still plays along with it really well. But yeah, in the whole build, everything, as to commentary and blah blah blah, it would be Scott Barnett. I think
Okay.
he just built like a monster, even though his size is rather small for the type of character he is. He was built like a monster.
Yeah, he is built like a small. He's like a small monster. He's like a Pokemon.
Like a
small
compact
monster. He's a
wrestler.
pocket. Exactly, he's a pocket monster.
Beautiful.
I'm fighting this cough away here, and I couldn't help it.
All right, so there was. Okay, so the most dominant face.
Ooh.
I guess this was a 2-part. I didn't see the face part at the end.
Yeah.
So I guess from the past 3 months.
AC Arthurs.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna say AC
I was gonna say the
Arthurs.
same thing.
Yeah, he's the most over out of anybody that's a face. He's the most, everybody marks out for AC Arthurs, whether you like where he's at or you don't like where he's at. He's just
It's funny. I remember because obviously he was NGC champion. He'd get in the Skype chats. He'd start getting upset because no one's talking about him in the comments, and like everyone would be loving VB. It was always fun. But yeah, AC Arthur's would be the one.
Are we all in agreement then on Arthur's?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Pretty good.
So whoever asked that question, I hope that's the best answer we can give you, because Arthur's is definitely the most considered to be the most dominant face. I mean, it's just the way it is. So if Arthur's watches this, congratulations, you got a unanimous vote, 5-0, saying
Yay.
you. So all right. So this one you get to be a little bit conceited. This is personal self-reflection. So
Ooh.
where do you rank yourself amongst other people in CAW?
Ooh.
Okay. Well, if this is the kind of question I'm hoping it is, meaning I can talk all about myself and not care about anybody else. I am numero uno. I am a legend. I am the legend. I am, Stone Age, old man geezer, stuff like that. In all honesty, though, where do I rank myself amongst other people in CAW? How do you rank yourself against other people?
Word.
I mean, like, do they want like a scale of 1 to 10, like, or?
You just can't answer this without stepping on toes. You just can't.
I'll say it like this. Anybody that I played with prior to SmackDown vs. Raw 2011, I've surpassed. Everyone. Including, like, on the PS2. I surpassed all of them, because there's, like, one other person left from the people I played with on SmackDown vs. Raw 2007, and he's in FAM, and that's Suicide. And he's in MCW. So, yeah, that's the only person I know of that's still around from then that I have communication with. I don't talk to a lot of the older people anymore, so I think in that sense, if I'm basing it off of that, then if it's pre-2011, I surpassed everybody I used to play with, just because I'm still around. So I'm just going to grandfather myself in.
Well done. Congratulations on that one as well.
That's the only way I can say it, man. That's the only I can't say it without sounding like a complete. I don't want to say I'm not better than Monroe. I mean, I might be better at Monroe, vertically or something, but I'm just being serious. Like, it could be so many things, and don't get me wrong. If Monroe ever hears this, I was not taking a shot, because actually I think Monroe's taller than me in real life. So, I don't know. This is such I wish that this question wouldn't have been so vague. Like, why couldn't I have said, like, in TPP, or like a specific league or something, like something a little bit more specific. So it's
a bit wide, isn't it?
Yeah, it's such a wide-ranged question.
There's so
it's
many
got
worlds.
there's too many possible avenues I could take, and most of those avenues will make me sound like a complete douchebag. So
There you go.
Yeah. Well, I got a vague answer, I guess. As far as for myself, I can say if it comes to technical ranking, I don't have an answer for any kind of technical ranking, but I would say, as far as in comparison to others, I would say myself, as well as my partner Afro, we'd be the type of people you actually watch out for. If you have that competitive mindset, and when it comes to CAW, we'd be the type of people you watch out for, because we're not assholes, we're not douchebags, and we're definitely not closed-minded. Our members can tell you the amount of stuff that we open up to and we listen to, and we have people that constantly tell us that they like us because we don't reject people. We don't sit there and tell them, run off with your mouth, or if you're trying to sign up. We never, again, we've been going on since the beginning of 2013, and we have yet to fire anybody from Power Wrestling. We have yet to kick anybody out. We're just very likable as far as who we are as our characters. On top of that, we have the absorbing mindset to get better. And when you have people like Die Hard, who's openly and willingly to help us as a league get better, whether it be with audio, production, promotion, anything. When you have people like Die Hard, who basically the grandfather of it all, he helps us. And then you have someone like me who's going to other leagues like PWR and talking to different administrations. I'm learning. So being young, involved in core and show production, having the motivation that I have, I would say that I myself, as well as my partner, we are the type of people you watch out for, because like with any generation, you have you have your values, you have your tradition. It gets old, and then you have it trickle down to the newer generation, and they're always going to try and either do their own thing and get better, or learn from the old guys and get better from the old guys. And because we're learning from the older guys, and we're going to add our own stuff to it, is basically setting the standards for the next generation coming in. Nothing lasts forever, but everything has a tradition, and it basically trickles down into basically the next step. We didn't start off with the Xbox 360. We had to go from different systems. Everything changes and advances. So as far as like I go and others that's basically creating their shows within the same playing field, if they're going to be consistent and they basically have the same motivation, et cetera, we be the type of people you watch out for coming up, because we actually want to improve, and we have people like Die Hard who's willing to help. Stuff like that is definitely an A+, in my opinion.
You called me a grandfather, man.
Oh,
You said it first, so I figure I'll take it from, no offense.
Make me feel old.
oh man.
You're young at
If
heart.
it makes you feel any better, I don't think your character looks so.
Josh, you see them wrinkles? You see them wrinkles? He's old. He's an old man.
Got that
All right,
Bruce
so-
Willis look.
Exactly. He's got that Bruce Willis, like late 2000s look. Getting old.
Some girls
Didn't he just come out with a movie?
Probably.
Yeah. There was a couple of different movies he's came out with over the past few years.
Needs to make some money somehow.
Somewhere.
Oh,
Gotta have long show.
And somehow he still has enough time to cut promos in TPP as my voice.
Ah,
I don't know how he does it. All right, so Alex J. Eric, you're a newcomer.
yes.
So I guess where would you rank yourself amongst
Ooh.
the community, I guess? Like I said, it's such a vague question, man. Just answer it the best you can.
I mean, people know of me quite early, I think. I haven't been around that long, and I seem to be someone that everyone knows. I don't know how, because I've had two recorded matches in a league and one by myself, and that's it.
You
But
had
somehow-
that hype, son. You had
I
that
know.
hype.
I've got one promo on PWR and everyone loved it, But yeah, so I think I've done pretty well for myself this year, to be honest, because I've had very little to work from, and it seems like everybody knows of me, and from what I know, everybody likes me. I might have had a couple of people get annoyed with me the last couple of days because I've been a bit of a weird one on Twitter with a couple of.
Well, I'm gonna say it like this then.
Go on,
I'm gonna rank Alex J. Eric right now within
Oh.
the CAW community.
go on.
Alex J. Eric he's got to be within the top 5.
Ooh.
The top 5 as we're closing out, the WWE games for 13. He's got to be in the top 5 because, Arthur's is probably number 1 on most people's list because he's the most popular. He's the most over guy. Everybody likes AC. So I would say you got to be in the top 5. You got to be up there like with Monroe, with Virtue, and I guess it would be like a toss-up between maybe Verdi and Barnett for like the number 4 spot. So I guess I would put you at like number 5.
That's very
And
nice to hear.
That's good though because
Yeah.
you're so new to it, and yet you just boomed. And that's good. That's good to get that kind of boom. You just got to keep that momentum
It's
going.
because it's like with the Sim Awards. If you check the PWR site, because old Devon Surefire's got the thread up there, but I was put into a category with like Stigma and Des Holly, Brent Devine, and apologies, but the PS3 guys I don't know. But I was put into Chris Franchise in there as well. But I was put into a category of those guys, and I thought, like, for me, only having 2 league recorded matches to be stuck in a category of those guys must mean something. Like, I've influenced a lot of people, I guess, with just the way that I act, which is nice.
Exactly, and it's all about the way that you came in. You didn't come in with some big old chip on your shoulder like some people do. You came in and you were open-minded.
Yay.
And that's the important part. When you have that open mind, it's easier to connect with people when you are open to it. You know, if you're just kind of like, snuff my nose at things, then that's kind of where things, start getting lost in the fray. And like he was just saying, on Twitter the past couple of days, he got tied up into some stuff that honestly I was reading the tweets, and like the Ask FM stuff and
It was fun.
stuff like that is really messed up. Because that same I'm not even trying to take a shot at them because I don't watch the show.
No, not the one.
But not even 2 months ago, they came to me asking me for a promo spot on my show.
I don't know.
So it's just like I don't know. I don't know why they decided to formulate an attack towards
I don't know.
PWR and then tried to play off a scapegoat of, oh well, it was a guy that isn't in our administration team that started it.
Yeah.
Okay, well if he started it, then why did you continue it? That was kind of.
It's just funny. I don't know. Me and Brent had a bit of a laugh, and we sort of realised we probably shouldn't have gone as over as we did. But Brent's
No, they had it coming. I mean, the one dude, the Brandon Cage guy, started involving Delavine's girl, and so that's you don't do that. That was like what happened, on the Downfall show in the comments when my wife was brought up. Like you can say whatever you want to say about me, because
that's the thing.
That doesn't matter.
It's
I can always turn off my game.
Yeah, it's like we're in a community where we pretend to be a wrestler. Like we don't want to have our girlfriends or fiancés or whatever like bought into it or wives. Like we don't need it. That isn't
exactly. And it's one thing for me to read the like everybody that is on my friends list. Like if they go on parties with me often, like I'm always talking about the hate messages I get. It's been kind of nice though. It's been 2 weeks thus far. Let's keep my fingers crossed. I've only gotten 3 total. 3 total within 2 weeks. That's good. Usually it's like 30, so that's really good.
Probably that rage video I hit all them children with.
But like when my wife saw the message on my Xbox that the one guy sent, and I took a picture, put it on Twitter, it upsets her, because she doesn't have an actual. The thing is, like with Melinda, she's just a character on my show. Like her character is a character on the show. She doesn't actually, do managerial things, for the power plant. She doesn't actually book matches.
No.
She just, she's just a figurehead, just a female character on the show to give the female voiceover spot.
Right.
And so when she sees messages like that message, she was like, why am I getting brought into this? What did I do?
It sucks.
Exactly.
Doesn't need to happen.
Disrespectful. Yeah.
Exactly. Women are more sensitive than men. Okay, women and children are a lot more sensitive than men.
Well, that's why I said on my Twitter earlier, I was like, this last night I use Ask FM because I just can't be bothered with it anymore.
I mean, it can be good for like some things, but other times it's
It's
just a
just
pain in the rear.
people asking questions about himself half the time, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, like that's what a lot of people do. Like they'll sit there and they'll randomly ask themselves questions,
Yeah.
and to try to get their little, like I don't know, I guess their answer count up or something. But I always get these lame ass questions. I never get good ones. I get the lame ones. Like why can't I get the ones like, who's your, I got one good one. They asked for like my favorite 10, I think, or my favorite wrestler in KAW. And so I listed my top 10. And they said I couldn't name anybody that was currently in TPP. So I named a whole bunch of guys that were in TPP at one time. And, you can go on my Ask FM and read it. It was good little write-out. It was fun. It was a good one that I liked asking, and my controller just turned off on my Xbox. I love it. Love it. I gotta get me with that. I gotta get me that plug-in thing.
I'm using that at the moment. It's kind of weird with the wires, but it works.
Well, I got to do it because like the TV I'm using to play on my Xbox, I'm so close to it. I should go wired.
Yeah.
Square eyes.
All right, so I guess we've been going at this for 2 hours.
Oh man.
So I'm assuming we should probably wrap this up.
It's flew by.
Afro.
Yeah, this is the longest TPP podcast we have ever had.
It's been me blubbering through my words.
No, it's me blubbering.
That means they're part of
it's me
history.
blubbering.
Make it.
So, here's, I guess, our closing statements and our future suggestions for the future for people that, I guess, based on the topics we talked about, like with leagues closing down constantly, if you're gonna start up a league, at least honestly try to make it. If you can make, I'm telling you right now, if you can make it through 8 episodes, you will be golden. I tell you this now. If you can make it, actually 9, we'll say 9,
Well,
just based off of what happened with NGC.
I was about to say
So-
NBC did 10.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
the 10th one,
Once you hit 10.
yeah. We'll say if you can get anywhere between 8 and 10 and make it beyond that, if you can get to the 11th episode, guys, you'll be golden.
And if you
And
can't,
remember,
get
each
found.
episode, and each episode, even the pay-per-views or the CPVs, those count as an episode. So if you just, you can do CPV every other week. If you can just make it past 11, you're good. You are good if you can make it past 11.
Put on cruise control.
Exactly, and then it just becomes tedious work that you do repetitively, kind of like what I do, and what Admin Animal do and Afro do, just the way it is. But yeah, if you can make it past the initial, I'm just gonna say the first 3 months. If you can make it through that first 3 months,
Yeah.
Usually at that point you know who you want to work with and who you don't want to work with anymore,
Yeah.
and you get a good idea. So take that for what you will, Alex. I mean.
It helps.
Yeah, those that you're going to work with, just make sure they're people that you trust and that you like,
There's a
Always
few
want
people
you trust and like.
that aren't.
People can trust.
Yeah.
All
And
right,
if-
well, does anybody got any shameless plugs that they want to do, or
Kapow
Yeah.
HD. Go on YouTube. Kapow HD.
everybody
Subscribe.
go subscribe?
Yeah.
Subscribe to Kapow HD.
Yes.
I'll subscribe right now.
Yay. Go check out the match
And
with
then-
9. It's quite good. Yay.
Yep, and then of course I'm gonna do a plug here for Power Wrestling. Go subscribe to YouTube.com Admin Animal. That's the Power Wrestling channel.
Oh.
And if you're feeling generous, you can subscribe to the Frontline channel.
Oh, make it a
You know.
requirement.
Definitely should.
It's good for you.
I'm now subscribing to Admin Animal. There we go. Just
Oh.
one.
I remember the first time that we had Admin Animal on, or Fifth Animal on the podcast, I put the wrong link to the wrong YouTube channel. I put Animal Admin instead of Admin Animal. I put it backwards.
Someone
But,
just got
but yeah,
5
guys.
subscribers.
I feel like
Yeah.
an animal. I'm an animal before animal.
So thank you very much for joining us for our 2-hour podcast tonight. We've almost made it through 2 Iron Man matches. I mean, I guess we can talk for another 3 minutes here. We can finish out this last man's or Iron Man match.
I have some.
I don't even remember who won the first one.
I
Does
think
anybody remember who won?
Edge
Are we
did.
having a match?
Yeah, I think it was Edge. I think Edge, the Rated R Superstar, won. Now, this is how we're gonna do this. If Edge wins again, we're gonna go into We're gonna go into overtime here. It'll be a 3-hour podcast. So, or wait, no, that would be no. If Ziggler wins, it'd be overtime.
Oh, man, and Ziggler does not a sell. Oh.
Let's see. What is the score right now? I don't even know what the score is. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
sure.
Edge he's got this. He's 14-9 right now. He's got this. Sorry, Ziggler. You tried to show off too many times.
Tight.
So, again, thanks for joining us. And if you're interested on being on the podcast with me, all you got to do is get at me on Skype or Twitter or Xbox or YouTube or okay, not Facebook because none of you have my Facebook. But,
Nearly.
yeah, I made the mistake of giving one person my Facebook account, and
Amen.
I ended up getting messaged every 3 minutes. So yeah, never again.
I self-destroyed mine.
Hmm.
Yeah, we don't say that name anymore of who that person was.
Uh-oh.
Talked about him a little bit last week. So
Oh.
Yeah.
I might,
and then
I might have an inkling.
yeah, I'm sure you got it. I'm sure you got an idea of who it just might be.
Oh.
Yeah, I got
but
something
yeah,
to
so
say.
and also if you watch this when it's up on YouTube or afterwards, even if you're not my friend, even if we're not friends or we aren't on talking terms, if you just want an open forum to have neutral discussion, I'm not gonna turn it into a one-on-one matchup in a Skype call between us. I will give you equal speaking time if you're interested in being on it. I'm not. I just want people to know that I'm not the mean guy that everybody thinks I am. I try to do what I can to help others, and I'm trying to show that the community can pull together as one if we just try and we just try to get along.
See, here I am.
that's-
That's a PWR guy being here as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I got the PWR in here. I got the power in here. I got the me in here.
Yeah, I feel like we're like mob
Unity.
bosses, like some private meeting in a meat locker.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like
Classy.
I'm all about I'm about unity, guys. I'm not about. I mean, yeah, my diehard character is all about him. That's all about him. That's his thing. I did. I gave AC Arthur's his first league opportunity, and he blew up, and now everybody loves him.
I love him a bit too much, but we won't talk
Yeah,
about that.
yeah. Some people love him a little too much. He's had a few stalkers on the Ask FM before, so.
Did you have body acne? Just real creepy people.
Yeah, yeah, but again, thanks guys for joining us tonight and all that good stuff. And so at
Thank
this point,
you.
I'm gonna end the Skype call, and we'll just let the match play out for the last. I don't know how much time is left on this.
15
Oh, time's out right.
Yeah.
Yeah, right out
Okay.
right there. So
It's been a
Edge
pleasure.
wins.
Indeed.
All right, and then hopefully sometime in the near future we can have Alex J. Eric back on here again.
love
Sometime.
to.
Hopefully, yeah, hopefully next time. I know it's a little late right now. It's almost 3 a.m. Something like that. Or-
man.
3:07. I'm dedicated. Look at me.
Yeah, you.
Look at that, guys. It's already tomorrow. Right
Yeah.
now, it's only 10 o'clock my time. It's already 3 a.m. tomorrow for Alex J. Eric.
I'm living
He
in the
stayed up
future.
way past his bedtime tonight
Yeah, my mum
to
My
to be
mum's
on the
really
TPP
angry at me.
podcast.
got my milk
See,
and
look, she's-
cookies ready.
Exactly. She took his milk and cookies. No gingerbread cookies for you tonight,
Man.
Mr. Eric.
Just tell your mom, I'm making connections. God.
I don't live with my mum anymore. I'm an
But
independent
all right,
man.
guys. So thank you very much for joining us tonight. We hope you enjoyed it. And again, if you would like to be on the podcast, just shoot me a message on whatever, and we'll work something out. So I'll see you guys next week. And then again, Alex J. Eric, thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank
Of
you for having
course,
me.
Afro and Fifth Animal, thank you guys. You guys always make it a great pleasure.
You are welcome.
All right, see you guys.
All right.
All right, guys. So thank you again for joining me on the podcast tonight and joining Alex J. Eric, Fifth Animal, and an Afro Gentleman. That was a very enjoyable podcast for me. I'm looking at the chat now. That was fun indeed. Yes, always fun. So again, guys, if you are interested in being on future podcasts with me, with Admin Animal, with anybody else, just shoot me a message. I'm not that hard of a guy to contact. You can always tweet me on Twitter and say, hey, can I be on the next podcast? And I'll send you my Skype, and we'll go from there. So thanks again for joining us, guys, and I will catch you guys next time.